Oh boy. I must be some kind of fucking weird. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that is fucking stunning in my book. Yes, it's a piece of metal. It's machined. But by Christ, that is fucking gorgeous. I'm sorry if that sounds kind of weird. And what's kind of sad, I'm going to clean it and then I'm going to powder coat it. That is, oh, I love machine metal. I'm weird. Okay, here we go. Second time with blue Loctite. This time I'm going to make sure I do it up. This nut, as opposed to this nut, that has to be done between 100 and 120 foot-pounds, which to me means 110. A little bit of blue Loctite here, not going to go crazy. Just put it on a few veins. That's enough. Don't need to go crazy with this shit. You got to think of the poor bastard that has to take it apart. All right, I have my shim on there. We're all set. Stick this in the hole. Give it a twist to line it up. There she goes. Ooh, almost through. How about that? Isn't that a plus? All right, let's get the washer on and the nut. And I got this one just to spin it up, because otherwise it's awkward. And once I've got this on, whoa! And be careful, because I've got the grease nipple in there, so that's why I've got this cloth down. I don't want to damage the nipple. Nothing worse than having your nipples damaged, believe me. And you girls that have your nipples pierced, oh, ouch. I mean, it kind of looks interesting, but I've never touched one. Guess I never will. I'm married. And if I ever did, I'd be divorced. Oh well. And sure as hell my wife ain't getting her nipples pierced. I don't want some guy touching my wife's nipples. They're my nipples, I paid for them. Right. Turn on the tube. Set to 110. Got myself a bar, because I'm going to have to fight myself here. This is kind of tricky. Hang on. Let me get this in here first. And I'm not allowed to use the expression about hair. My wife objects to that expression. So I will not ever be using that one again. And those of you that are out there going, pussy, pussy, does as your wife says. That's why I have been married for 25 years. For those of you that think the wife doesn't rule your house, you're an idiot. You also are in for a shitload of trouble. There you go. We are done. That is now torqued up. All I need to do is get a split pin in there. And just turn the shaft. Oops, turn it the other way. Find a hole that's lined up. There somewhere, there it is. Okay, there's my hole. So that's lined up now. I'll get myself a nice split pin, put that in there. This now still turns nicely, as you can see it turns, look. Turny, 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 turny. And the next phase is to bring this beast down. Here. Line it up, spin this over, get it put together, and get the shims on. I think I'm going to clean this up here, purely because it's got powder coat on it, and that's going to affect the clearance. So let me do that. Back in a sec. All right, we move on. Now, Things you have to do. The gap here between this surface and the main surface there, that should be between 4 and 6 thou. Now, as reminded to me by my friend Dave at Classic Car Cave, and if you guys have never been to his site, you should, or sorry, his channel. Very knowledgeable guy, really helpful. You're gonna love him. So this has to be done dry when you set it up. Then once you've got the clearance correct, you can go pumping in your grease. Now I've still got more grease to pump in here. I lubricated it as I put it in, but you got to pump this full of grease. And let me get back to my pet peeve. I don't know if you can see it. Wow, see that screw there? That is plugging up what they call the bleed hole. When you pump grease in here, it'll take the path of least resistance. So it'll go round the sleeve in here and come out that bleed hole. Well, the point is to lubricate these tapered bearings. And as it goes round and comes out there, you go, oh yeah, that's it, it's all greased, oh nice. It's not. You will be surprised if you, even if you don't take this apart on your current vehicle, plug up that hole, pump the grease in here, you'll be surprised at the amount of shit that comes out of here. Yes, because it'll be rusty grease, because the grease has not got to where it should get to. Okay, I've put this on, put in the correct split pin, bent it over, it ain't going nowhere. The other end I'm working on. I've just done this, and I've done this dry again and cranked it up to the correct 110 foot-pounds. As I've said before, it should be between 100 and 120 foot-pounds. So I do, you know, in the middle, 110. Cranked it up and made sure everything still turns. Oh, I can't turn that by hand, hang on. There you go, it all turns. Beautiful. So now I'll take it apart and put Loctite, blue Loctite, on the shaft and slip it back in. Next thing I will do will be to flip it over, flip this part, and then put on this fulcrum shaft. And I believe that's what they call it. I keep calling it an H shaft, but I believe it's called a fulcrum shaft. Making sure you don't lose these bolts, by the way. These are special bolts for the shock absorbers. They've got a special flat on them. So I've got to clean this up, I think. No, actually, no, I'm lying to you. I think I might have already done it. Oh no, it needs a little bit more cleaning there. It's not quite clean enough. Then we got all the fun here with this shaft. I've just put that in there as a temporary measure, obviously. And then this one, I can push the pieces all back together. Then, I know there's a lot of thens here. Then we can put these on, and I've got blue tape on them because I don't want to scratch them. You know, these are nice aluminium pieces, and I don't want to scratch them. So I want to get those on there. Once they're on there, I will then take the tape off, and well, it's down to the customer then. Now these plates, I powder coated them, but you know, they do get chipped and damaged when you put them in. It really doesn't matter too much. It's just to give it some kind of protection. But let's face it, you're not going to see it. In fact, you're probably not going to see much of this. All right, so let's get on. Let's get this off of here. Get it Loctited in position. Once all of that is done, then I can pump this baby full of grease, and this one full of grease. This is, you know, one of the last jobs I'll do. Pump that full of grease, pump that full of grease, pump these full of grease. Now they do already have grease in there. I didn't put them in dry now. So we just want to make sure that we, you know, get the grease in there and make sure everything's lubed up. The differential will not be filled with oil. That I will leave up to the customer. Once he's got it in place, he can then fill it up with oil. Oof. Oofta. Oh, that was my friend. I can't think of her last name. I think her first name was Lynn. I used to work with her at Urban Outfitters. And she was of Swedish descent and from, I think, Wisconsin. And one of the favorite expressions was oofta, which I believe means gosh, or words to that effect. And I'm sure any of you that know that will correct me. She was a lovely lady. Lynn Girk, there you go, Lynn. I know you're not watching this, but there you go. Worked with her at Urban Outfitters, lovely lady. We used to go for drinks together occasionally. Both married, nothing going on. We liked each other's company. Or at least I liked hers. I assume she liked mine because she didn't say no to a drink. Maybe she was just an alcoholic, who knows? If any of you out there know Lynn, tell her I said hi. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, this setup may look rather strange, but there you go. Deal with it. Took this cap off here, made sure this is full of grease. Came up here, connected to the grease nipple there, and pumped away, and look, grease is coming out here, which is what you want. Now I've got to do the same. I've already done the universal joints, so don't even think about asking me about that. It's already done. I'll wipe this excess grease off, and now we'll move over to this side and put this baby together and do the same kind of thing. Still got to grease these. These have not been done and will not be done until I get these plates on, these special little plates that the customer brought to me. Don't want to do that because I want to get some washers for there, and then once everything is lined up here and everything's, you know, back to where it should be, then we can pump grease in here, but not until then. So let's get the fuck on with this side. Well, you're about to witness some fun. I've never completed this. I need to turn it over. Get it out the right way. It's a lot heavier now than what it was. I'm going to scratch rather than using that piece of rope. Let's see how it goes. I'm not quite sure how to do this. The same still in the bracket. Guess I'll bring it this way. We'll try to rotate it. See how that works, eh? Can I tilt up? I'm supposed to repeat. Bring it this way a bit. I'll lower it a little more. Let's go and take this off a bit. So a little more. Enough. A little drop. See if I can now bring it forward. Sweet. Tilt up again. So much of the weight there. Get to there. Right. A bit more. Just a little bit more. What do we do? Hold it there for a second. Put it this way. What is touching? Yeah, right, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's it. Take that off there now. All you say. That's why we're now. It says grease. Well, I have grease in everything. Maybe I do grease. Right, now. My hand is slightly lower. That's right. That's there. That's how it's touching. Just a little bit. Okay, no. That's no shit yet. There we go. No, it's not on the frame anymore. Is it so much as a little closer? There's no rocky there. And then you can straps, and you can position it. I've got to be now, these straps all to it. See, there you go. Surprise. No way. Snap on. I don't know the right colour. It's a little match pink. That's a little match pink. Put it there. That way. Good play. Should now. This one got the easy close. And with the fury. Not. Fury. Not fury. quickly. Comes up here. Again, making sure it's not going to do damage to anything. Right. Let's see how this goes. The next stuff you've got in. Did that wrong. Everything's in the way now. I need to flip it that way. So I need to make those longer so that it can flip. Alright, let me do that adjustment and I'll be back. Okay, sorry didn't film the rest of that. It was a little precarious to say the least, but as you can see I changed the position of the straps. That allowed me to turn it and lower it down slowly. It's there. That was not easy, that was bum twitching. Let me get this out of the way and then I'll give you a tour of the piece as it is. Well, here it is. Pretty much everything together. There is a different diff cover to go on here, which the owner will be bringing me on Wednesday. There she is. Quite a beast, quite a heavy beast too. Let me duck under. And this is the other side. This is obviously the front. All the brakes are done, everything's done. Fucking phone's going off again. Oh dear. It's Sunday, give me a fucking break. Leave me alone. And there she is, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now unfortunately it did get a couple of battle scars during assembly, but I'm afraid that cannot be helped. I did my damnedest for that not to happen, but it did. So there you go. All together now. Holy moly. That was a long ass task and now I got another one to do. Oh dear. Alright, I'm going to push this video out now. The finished article will be during the week. And it will just be with the wheels and the cover on, just to show you exactly how it finished. Now go down that garage and do some shit.